My biggest dream was going abroad, and I did it, but it was not what I expected. There were so many things that I wanted to do, that I wanted to explore, and I just didn't have the energy nor the time to do it. I was exhausted because I was working 10-hour days, sometimes Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. And all of these beautiful things that I had imagined never came. And if you've ever had a dream and you've ever felt like there was something you wanted and you got it, but when you get it, there was no payoff, or there felt like it was not at all what you expected, this video is for you, because I have rebuilt my life in the last 12 months since this happened. And I want to share with you what I did to really get myself out of this funk and into fulfillment. Welcome in. Welcome to tea time. See, I've already drank that, so you know how many takes I've done. But I wanted to start out by giving you background, because I went to Mexico. That was where I worked abroad. It's what I wanted. It's what I was striving for and really trying to achieve. I knew that I wanted to go to some place that I spoke the language, and I just wanted to really perfect my Spanish because I'd already done that. But I was planning on like exploring and doing all of these things. That did not happen. I was working a lot as a supervisor. I just had a lot more responsibility, a lot more time commitment. Mexico was 48-hour weeks instead of 40-hour weeks. So I just had a lot of things that were really adding a lot of stress and a lot of energy and taking a lot of energy from myself that I just did not account for. And even just some of the immigration things, like the bank account and other stuff, just were literally so difficult and extremely difficult processes to get through. And all of that compounded into making me so stressed and feel so stuck. It didn't also help that I was the only gringa or non-Mexican person at the site. So it was hard. Like, I felt alone sometimes. And I also felt like I really needed to kind of overperform, because I didn't want to make it seem like, oh my gosh, she's just American and just, not a try hard, but like just handed things right. I didn't want to do that. Like, I was trying to prove myself, and that became people pleasing, right? Like, I became really trying to make this work, trying to make it work with all these people and for all these projects, when that was not necessarily what other people were putting on me, but I was assuming what they felt. I was assuming what they thought, and really projecting that, right? Projecting that in my energy, projecting that in my actions, and robbing myself of happiness. So I really hope nobody does that, but I just say that because it's really true that a lot of people deal with the same thing. And for me, it was so difficult because one of the biggest parts that prevented me from making the shift was I felt like I was going to be a failure if I gave up, or I felt like, I was defeated, right? Like, I had worked so hard for this, put so much energy, put so much time into it. But if I just said, no, I can't do it, right? Like, I felt like I was, I don't know, the world was going to end or something. And I kept into it because I was investing more and more into it and thinking like, oh my gosh, I've already invested this much time, so I've got to stay into that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is miserable. And it got to the point where, and again, many people on my Instagram probably already saw it, but like this video, I was looking bad. Like, I was looking rough that day. Specifically, I had worked a 10-hour shift or more. It was more than that. I think it was like 12-hour. I don't know. But I was eating this meal afterwards, and I knew I had like an hour and a half commute home, and it was already late. It was already past 8 o'clock or something like that. And they had like dinner was done, like at the site and everything. Like, they do dinner because it's second shift, but they had saved me in a like to-go plate a meal because they knew I would be there so late. And that's like, it was crazy. Like, that was horrible. Like, just to have to feel like that. And that is what really made me shift my mindset that, okay, this right here, this ain't thriving. Like, if this is something that I feel like I'm taking an L if I leave, I'm crazy, right? This right here is the L. I'm in the L right now. So I need to pivot to something else so I can get a W. So I knew at that point, it was just the end. Like, I needed to stop this. I needed to pivot. And so what I did was, I got the opportunity to go back to the US, and I knew like this has to change, right? When I got there, I was really excited because I was like, oh, finally relief. But no, like, it was worse. It was like even more stressful, more difficult work environment, and just more that I had to deal with, right? But of course, the a little bit less stress in terms of like I knew the people and the language a lot better, but I did have to adjust to, the problems that were happening there. But I had to make sure that in my mind, like I'd already made up, I'm not going to look like that photo again. I'm going to be better. And I made up my mind. Like I made up my mind. I bought a journal, I had my planner, and I just truly made it my priority to get Mary in check. Because in Mexico, I was not prioritizing my mental health, my physical health. I was not even like taking time to just rest. I started on and off journaling, and honestly, that helped a little bit, but I really wasn't consistent with anything. Like I was always on and off. Typically, I would just start like binge eating or just binge reading something, but I knew this was just not sustainable, right? Like I had to do something that actually added value to my life. I had to do something to pivot my entire mindset. And I want to start out with some of the first things that I did. So number one, I had to set boundaries with everybody and everything that was draining my energy or that was not allowing me to focus on myself. Because in Mexico, I invested way too much time. And I mean, way too much time in other people, other people's opinions, just pleasing other people. And I had to start pouring that same energy back into myself. And it was difficult. Like it was really difficult, but I did very intentional things. Like number one, like I said, I had my planner and stuff. I was writing down like, I'm going to go work out today, or I'm going to do this. Like I made my top 3 goals. I knew what I needed to do on work, but I really, really tried to make sure that my personal life had its priority, right? Like I was getting enough sleep. I was going to bed early. I had time for prayer, for meditation, or for just like, reading my Bible. I made sure that there was time in my schedule for everything that mattered. And then all the other stuff filled in, right? And when I filled my schedule, I didn't have as much time to worry. But I want to talk about like whenever you set those boundaries, right? Like I was at work with very, very negative people. Like there was a lot of toxicity. There was a lot of just people who were very stressed themselves. And that was coming out. Like it was just so negative, and there was a lot of complaining, and it was a lot of things that I had to shield myself. And it was not easy because I really wanted to, it's so easy to just fall into that same habit. But I really intentionally, like when I saw like everybody was like that, and I showed up when I needed to, but when it was lunchtime, I would go straight to my car. I intentionally, after I said like, in Mexico I had like an hour and a half commute, I would literally go home. I live 5 minutes away, or like a little less than that. I would go home for lunch just so that I had peace. I could put on some worship music, chill a sec, like eat lunch at home. That is what I did if I needed to. That is what I did if I knew I would be misaligned if I stayed in the environment. And I was so intentional about it. Like, I know that that's extra, but like it was needed. Like I had to start setting hard boundaries, because if not, I would fall right back into that cycle, and I was not going back to that version. And I needed to really be very, very intentional too about what I was doing, like in every situation of like what I was doing, like what were the words I was speaking. Like I was correcting my speech, even of just like, I didn't want to speak anything that was negative, right? Like that's the next kind of point, is like, I was so intentional, positive affirmations, like that type of stuff, like just making sure that everything I did spoke life over people. I didn't want to be negative, because I knew the moment that I started letting that spill out, it would just infect me, right? Because at the end of the day, like when people are angry and people are like negative, it's coming from within. And I did not want anything like that coming out of these lips, because I knew if I joined in on that, that would just make me continue to be negative. So those are 2 like main things that I did at first. But I'll also say like exercise, movement. Oh my gosh, my mental health improved so much. My physical health improved so much. I was not as tired. Like that's the energy part, is like my energy level was so much higher, and not just the exercise, but just just increasing my sleep. Like I was sleeping so good. Like I could go to my Samsung scores if I can find them. I just transitioned phones, so I'm sorry. I don't know if I still have it, but it was like, I got like a 99 sleep score. I ain't never had no 99 sleep score in my life, but I was sleeping hard. I was making sure to like turn off my phone before bed, read. I was reading so many books. And I also even like started a book club with my mom so that we could connect more, and just like, we live very far away. Not anymore though. But those are the things that I had to do, because I knew I needed to really heal, like, this part of me that was like performing and just doing and doing and doing, and just so fast, and trying to speed up and trying to strive for something, when I just needed rest. Like I really just needed, it's so amazing when I tell you like the benefits of sleep. People are not playing games. Okay. People are not playing games. And I'm going to tell you, like, if you're one of those people that's like, I'll sleep when I'm dead, you will die quick. Like, and I hate to say it like that, but like really and truly, the amount of benefits of sleep, of just increased focus, like all of this striving, like you will be more efficient once you get rest. You will be more efficient by just going and deciding to, okay, I'm going to sleep. I'm just going to do this, right? Like those are the things that you need to understand that there's actually really big benefit to. All right. So my last point is that you have to be rooted in your identity. I was not. I was really, really misaligned. And that was even before I went abroad. And that's what really like full circle, like clarity moment was. I was already working weekends. I was already working really too much before I went to Mexico and just expected that that would be, my ticket out. But I had to understand that the problem was really within. Like it was not my circumstances, not that they were asking me to work and do all this stuff. It was me not being able to find balance, increase my own capacity, or just set boundaries, right? Like those are all of the things that I had to do in order to become the person that I am now. Like I'm a lot more aligned, a lot more calm. And a lot of it too has to do with, I felt so trapped because I kept looking outside. And a lot of people get into this trap. Like if you feel stuck right now, if you're watching this and you feel trapped in what choices you can make, trapped in like, this situation, they have to do this. If you're relying on anybody else but yourself, you need to focus from within. Like you need to focus on your inside, because I promise you have skills, you have gifts, you have things that are truly pre-placed inside of you. Like we're all wired differently to do something different in this world. And you have to find those things, because those are the things that are going to unlock so many opportunities. I am not the best at speaking, but I know that I can touch people. I know that I can connect with people very easily. That is why I try to speak up. I try to, encounter and talk to different people and connect with them. And that's something that you can figure out is, what is your skill? Like, what is that skill? And if you don't feel like you have one, start learning, right? Once you learn, you're going to open up a whole new world for yourself and a whole new realm of opportunities, because so many people feel stuck because they're looking outside. You relying on someone else to get your happiness. And it's all within. Like I'm telling you, I remember I used to see all these self-help coaches or all these podcasts talking about that. It's real. Like these millionaires and other people who are talking about this stuff, like it really is true, because you have to be the person that you want before you can do the things that you want and have the wonderful blessings and wonderful things in your life that you want. So you have to think of that and just start working on it. It doesn't have to be overnight. It was not overnight. Like I'm still a work in progress. Yes, I rebuilt my life up, but I'm going to continuously be evolving in my life. So you just have to think of, what are those little things that I can start doing? What change can I make today? And if you've enjoyed this video and you want to, put some of this stuff in action, please comment below if there's other things that you want me to talk about. But really just come back to this video if you ever feel discouraged, and just know like you didn't look like how I looked in that Mexico video. And in the next video, I will be sharing a story time from Brazil.